Hello, Devotee Church family. Here again with another thought of the week. Just thinking through kind of this crazy time in the past couple weeks that we've had, and all the decisions that are being made right now as far as for our state, city, and country when it comes to our shelter in place. And just thinking through what that really looks like and all the stresses that kind of come along with that. And I think that, again, as I said some last week, and as me and Evan talked about Sunday morning, I think there's a perspective shift that we need to make sure takes place in our own minds, to where we're prioritizing and focusing first on what it is that God has for us, and then from there seeking to see what the right thing to do is for us personally, as far as going out, leaving our homes, what things we should or shouldn't do or follow up on, or whose decisions are right or wrong when it comes to those things. So this brings to mind for me a story from John chapter 6 that's very familiar. If you've sat through Sunday school for longer than 3 weeks in your life, you've heard it. And that's the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000s, the 5 loaves and 2 fish. So the whole story is just pretty simple, that this group of people had come around, and the disciples were going to tell them to leave, and Jesus said, no, don't tell them to leave. And it says there's a young lad there who has 5 loaves and 2 fish for his lunch. And yeah, it could have been his own lunch. Maybe it was to feed his family. It doesn't really tell us past the fact that it's his lunch. But what is incredible to see is that Jesus goes to this young lad, this kid, teenager, whoever he was, and says, hey, give me your 5 loaves and your 2 fish, and I'm going to feed this multitude of people, 5,000 plus people. And what's so important to catch that we often kind of overlook is that, imagine the perspective of the young boy, like, you're not going to be able to feed these 5,000 people with what I have. But still, he stepped out in faith and gave Jesus what he had. And it wasn't much, but it was what he had in that given time. And Jesus did exactly what he said he would do. He took those 5 loaves and 2 fish, and he fed the multitude. So then the way this becomes relevant for us in our time, and really this could go even beyond this pandemic or whatever you want to call it. What are your 5 loaves and 2 fish? What is it that you possess that is your thing? What do you have that you can give to God, no matter how small and insignificant it may seem, considering the circumstances? You have something that God can use, and all it takes is just a simple yes. It just takes a simple yes. I will give you what I have, so that you can take it and multiply and do things miraculous. And what crazier of a time than right now, where we feel like, Jesus, I don't know what you're going to do with what I've got, but if we'll just say yes to him, and we'll just seek to serve, seek to give to those around us, and seek to find what it is that he wants us to do, to where we can show his face to the multitudes, man, he will take it and run wild with it. It's so cool to think about all the things that Jesus can do if we would just simply say yes. So as you go through this week, as this craziness, the stress of all this transition comes about, and all these decisions are being made around you, focus first on what God has for you. Focus first on what you've got that you can use for his kingdom work, and then worry about where you're going to go, going back to work, groceries, kids, and all the other stresses that have come from this pandemic. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look forward to all of the good things that are going to come from small groups tonight, and just always looking forward to seeing everybody's face again in our church home. Thank you so much. We love you. We miss you. You are prayed for. Have an awesome week.
Hey everybody, I'm glad you joined us tonight on Wednesday night. I'm going to try to take this time while we're at home to practice my guitar and get better. So I have found 2 more songs in the only key that I know for tonight. And they're actually really applicable to what we are all going through right now. One is called Sov'reign. It's a song we've been singing for a while. And it talks about how no matter where we are in our lives, that God is still sovereign, He's still in control, and to never forget that. The other one is called No Longer Slaves, and the chorus, the words say, I'm no longer a slave to fear, I'm a child of God. So if you're feeling afraid during this time, just know that if you are God's child, that you do not have to be a slave to fear, that He is sovereign and He is in control. So sing along with me tonight. Sovereign in the mountain air, sovereign in the mountain air, sovereign on the ocean floor, with me in the calm, with me in the storm, sovereign in my greatest joy, sovereign in my deepest cry, with me in the dark, with me at the dawn. In your everlasting arms, all the pieces of my life, from beginning to the end, I can trust you. In your never failing love, you work everything for good. God, whatever comes my way, I will trust you. Sovereign in the mountain air, sovereign in the mountain air, sovereign on the ocean floor, with me in the calm, with me in the storm, sovereign in my greatest joy, sovereign in my deepest cry, with me in the dark, with me at the dawn. In your everlasting arms, all the pieces of my life, from beginning to the end, I can trust you. In your never failing love, you work everything for good. God, whatever comes my way, I will trust you. God, whatever comes my way, I will trust you. All I hope, all I need, held in your hands. All my life, all of me, held in your hands. All my fears, all my dreams, held in your hands. In your everlasting arms, all the pieces of my life, from beginning to the end, I can trust you. In your never failing love, you work everything for good. God, whatever comes my way, I will trust you. God, whatever comes my way, I will trust you. You unravel me, you unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears have gone. And I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child my mother's womb. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name. I've been born again to your family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God, and I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and sing. I am a child of God. You split the sea. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me and I will stand and sing. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. 'Cause I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God, and I'm no longer a slave